Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the school committee meeting of Monday, December 13th, 2021. First on this evening's agenda is the acceptance of the meeting minutes of November 2nd, 2021. We'll be entertaining a motion.
Motion to approve?
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? That's a vote. Thank you very much. Seeing nothing under communication, we're going to move right on to audience. Tonight we have with us Mrs. Shipper from Rogers Middle School.
No, she won't be here tonight.
Oh, she won't be here tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, sorry about that.
But we do have another very special guest with us this evening. We have Assistant Superintendent Ms. Colleen Ferlizzi. Alan?
That's all right.
It's okay. Colleen, come on up to the podium. Hello, Ms. Forlizzi. Ms. Forlizzi is leaving us, and we are here to thank her for her more than 20 years of service. She began her career in Rockland as a math teacher in the middle school. She was then a math coach at the middle school. She then became the district's business manager. And for the last number of years, she has been the assistant superintendent for curriculum, instruction, professional development, what else?
Assessment.
Assessment.
Jane?
And as John Restless used to like to say, whatever else I don't want to do.
Exactly.
And we wish her incredible happiness and joy moving forward with her new career. And we just wanted to offer her an opportunity to say anything she'd like to say.
I just would like to say that it was my true privilege and honor to have worked for the Rockland Public Schools for the past 22 years. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
And I don't know if the microphone's working or not, Chris. And that it was my true true delight to have come to a hiring fair 22 years ago at the Rockland High School library, where I was hired by Paul Stanish to be a middle school math teacher, and I've been here since then. And everything I've done from then to now has been done with my colleagues as teams, and I would just like to say that it is my honor and privilege again to have worked for the Rockland students and families for the past 22 years. I'm going to get a little emotional. We all know Rockland's a special place, and it has been a wonderful place to have spent my career. I take my career very seriously, always have, and to have wound up in a beautiful place such as Rockland and to have worked here with the many people and families has been a career of a lifetime. So working with the school committee, you have always been supportive, always been there and let us do our job when we needed to with your support and advice, and thank you very much.
Thank you. This is one of those moments when there's just so many emotions. When you've known and gotten to observe someone work for quite a long time, as I have gotten to observe Colleen for quite a long time and gotten to know her, you get to feel a little bit sad to see someone go, but also at the same time you feel really excited for somebody who's going to be able to enjoy their retirement, move on to some really fun and exciting endeavors in the next stage of their life. So in that regard, I am truly happy for you, Colleen. Thank you for 22 amazing years. Alan named a few of the hats that you wore, but there were many, for many different roles and responsibilities that you've had here in Rockland Public Schools in the last 22 years. You mentioned about what a special place Rockland is, and I agree, and it's really because of the people that live and that work in it. And you have been an integral part of that for this school district, for the people that work within this school district, and for the kids that have attended in this school district. Rockland is simply a better place because you've worked here. I want to thank you on behalf of this committee. I know in a second they'll all have their opportunity to say their thank yous, but just from me, I'm going to miss you, and best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sure Mrs. Maroney, I think you have some things to say.
I do. I myself am proud to have you part of us. You will certainly be missed. We have been lucky to have you in our presence for 22 years. I know anytime I've been into your office with whatever was coming at us, you were always calm, cool, and collected. I don't know if that's how she is when I'm not in the room with you all. But on my side of the door, that's how she always is. And I appreciate you always teaching us and showing us the ways that we're going to go. So we will miss you. But I know that you're going to go and enjoy the rest of your time in a warm, sunny place.
I guess I'm going to say I'm jealous that you are retiring. I'm very happy to have met you. I'm proud to have worked with you in the last couple of years on school committee. And as everyone has already said many wonderful things about you, thank you for all you've done, and congratulations and enjoy.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Stone?
And I'll just also, I don't think I have anything to say that others haven't said, but thank you so much for all of your contributions over the past 22 years. Like Dan said, Rockland Public Schools is a better place because of you. And I wish you a long, happy, healthy retirement full of fun things.
Thank you. And I just want to, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. It's been my honor and pleasure to work.
Speaking of fun things, we have something that we would like to give to you. Congratulations on it. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Beautiful. Thank you.
Okay, speaking of tough acts to follow, next up on tonight's agenda are reports. A lot less exciting than Mrs. Ferlizzi, but nonetheless very exciting. We have 4 reports to approve for this evening for November. We have administrators, we have guidance, we have nurse, and we have personnel services. We'll be entertaining 4 motions.
4 motions to approve.
We have 4 motions. Do we have 4 seconds?
4 seconds.
We do. All those in favor? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That is a vote. Next up, for your information, our monthly newsletters for December for Jefferson Memorial Park, the middle school, and Rockland High School is always just chock full of good news and good information. Just to highlight one thing that just kind of popped off all the pages to me was just the fall sports roundup in the Rockland High School section. It's just astounding at how much success that the fall sports programs this fall have had. And we'll talk more about that in this meeting and in further meetings, but great to see that all reflected in these newsletters, and great to see so much success by our student athletes here at Rockland High School. Next up on tonight's agenda, we have one of my favorite things on any school committee agenda ever, which is Curriculum Corner. And this evening we have Cheryl Thompson and Kato Medeiros, they're teachers at the art department, with us here this evening. Dr. Harrison is here with us as well.
Yes, I just wanted to briefly introduce Ms. Medeiros and Ms. Thompson. We're very, very proud at Rockland High School of our art department. Cheryl and Kata have done an extraordinary job, really always, but in particular through COVID. I remember when we first had the shutdown, they were preparing kits so that students could continue to do artwork at home safely, and throughout the whole hybrid learning model, they adapted their curriculum. But having said that, tonight they're actually here to talk about the outstanding work that their students have done in the art program, focusing in on Japanese art, and in particular, they applied for an REF grant a few years back, so they're going to talk about what they've done with that grant. So without further ado, I'm very proud to welcome Ms. Thompson and Ms. Medeiros.
Welcome.
Thank you, John. That was very nice. Thank you for your kind words. So like John said, in 2019, we got a grant to do Japanese art and culture. Sadly, it got cut short. But we have been doing Japanese art and culture the last couple of years, so we're just going to showcase tonight the work that we've done with our students. The first project, students created a mini infinity room and a large polka dot sculpture based on the artwork of Japanese artist Yayoi Kusama. student sculptures will be displayed at this year's Arts Festival. So I don't know if you girls want to, oh, this is Tori Dalton and Megan. What's your last? Megan? Hyler. Megan Hyler. So if you want to go ahead and grab some of the infinity rooms and show.
Very cool.
Thank you. So you look through those little holes.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Some corners always interactive. Now that we're here. Thank you.
Very cool.
So these mini infinity rooms are in preparation for a larger infinity room that we're going to be doing next based on Yayoi's work, her polka dot sculptures. And then, oops, sorry.
So at the Arts Festival this year, the plan is to build a large infinity room, and everybody is making, let me hold those up, making their own little sculpture to be a part of that infinity room.
So cool.
So this is kind of the small scale version of that, and hopefully you guys will see the large scale version in the spring.
We just have to figure out a location. We're thinking maybe somewhere in the hallway by the CAF, so people can walk through it. They're great places to take selfies, so hopefully we can get that worked out. The next project was students collaborated on a box art sculpture based on the flat art of Takashi Murakami. Students came up with original flat art characters followed by a mini version made out of modeling clay. And this was in the comic book and illustration class. And this is just some of the work.
Wow.
And they also made they made these really cute little clay versions of them. The other project is Sumi-E brush script painting. Students learn the art of Sumi-E brush script painting using ink and real bamboo brushes. The next project was a Japanese tea ceremony. Originally, we were actually going to go down to the Duxbury Art Complex because they actually have a tea room and a tea master, but unfortunately it got canceled that year. So last year, we had an informal tea ceremony with our advanced students. Students made clay tea sets, and then we had a tea ceremony where we actually used the tea sets. And if you can see, Dave Murphy was part of that, that ceremony.
I had no idea there was a thing that was a tea master.
There is,
That's
yes.
amazing.
Tea ceremony in
Tea
Japan
ceremony
is
master.
very serious.
Wow.
It is.
Very serious.
It's quite an art form. So we just wanted to thank the REF for giving us the opportunity to incorporate Japanese art and culture into our curriculum. The students seem to really enjoy it. We've enjoyed it. So we're hoping to showcase it at this year's Arts Festival. So.
Wow.
Thank you so much. Just real quick, a couple things. The Rockland Education Foundation just continually and consistently gives us occasion to thank them for all that they do for us. What an amazing thing that our kids have the opportunity to experience that they might not have otherwise. You know, to be able to express themselves creatively, to be able to learn about different forms of art, because clearly this is very different and really unique and cool. But also for them to be able to, you know, have the idea to be able to do something creatively and large, like you're saying, potentially doing down the road. Really neat. Thank you for sharing these with us. I'm sure we have some questions or comments from the rest of the committee.
Just thank you. It's exciting to see the different aspects. My daughter has Miss Thompson for art elective right now, and she loves it. And it's great to see that that is a supplement and allows the kids and the students to express themselves and have a different form if they're not into sports or, you know, the other academics. So thank you for all you do.
Thank you so much. It's nice to hear. And thank you for giving us the opportunity to share what we've
Yeah.
been doing.
I mean, really cool. I mean, art and sort of where art meets culture and sort of where they intertwine. I mean, we just said about the Tea Master thing. I had no idea about that. And, that's some things that you learn about, other places and other people and, have a growing respect and understanding for different cultures. And having it done through art's really, really awesome.
And I think,
Great job.
too, just having art that's functional.
Yeah.
Art can be functional and decorative. So being able to actually use their artwork was pretty cool for them.
And immersive, too, right? It's
Yeah.
not just a picture on a wall. I mean, you can't really, the cameras, I don't think, can appreciate what we're seeing here. But just to describe for those of you at home who can't see it, as you look into these boxes, you're able to really see whatever is featured within it. In this case, it's a spider, and you can see all kinds of infinity spiders in there. It's just really remarkable. You're sort of surrounded by the art itself. Really cool.
I just want to say that I love the thoughtfulness in planning and looking for ways to broaden the horizons for our students. I think that was, that really impresses me with the faculty. And then also just to comment on the talent of our students. This is all very impressive, and I think it's fantastic. So thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
I was just going to say, the passion shows that the teachers have to put to our students, and you can see the talent that our students have. I know myself, you'll probably have a Maroney child next year, or sometime in her high school year. She is very creative, and it's just naturally who she is. It's cool that she'll be able to express herself with you guys, sort of guiding her way. It is definitely another form, like you're saying, sports or band or whatnot. It is a cool thing to be able to witness. So thank you for your passion.
Can I just add
Go
one
ahead.
thing?
Yeah, please.
If someone's senior or junior came home and were sitting around the dinner table talking about what they did in math, and they said, we did arithmetic today, someone would say, why are you doing addition and subtraction? You're a senior in high school. Everyone has a general idea of what a good mathematics program looks like or a good English program. But I think very few have an insight into what makes an art department truly engaging for our students and challenging. And Rockland has a long tradition of very strong art department, and I'm incredibly grateful to both of you for continuing that tradition. Our students are in good hands, and we're very fortunate.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for being with us.
And thank you, girls, for showing off your artwork.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you for sharing that with us and anybody else's examples that are here with us tonight. Thanks so much and great job. And I look forward to hopefully seeing the full-size version sometime down the road in the
Yes.
future.
The Arts Festival's coming back this year.
That's
Yay.
awesome.
Yes,
it is.
That's
Of
awesome.
course. So,
Yep.
Looking
We're
forward
excited
to
about
it.
that.
Looking forward to it.
Very exciting.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really
It's been
cool.
great.
Here you go. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Once again, great job by the art department. Next on tonight's agenda, under old business, item A is that we have a Phelps Elementary School update. Typically, Ms. Davidson would give that for us, but she's not with us this evening. Alan, is there anything that you would like to highlight about the progress over at the elementary
Just
school?
that we're on pace and under budget, which is always a good thing. Again, we continue to be very happy with our project managers and our architects, and we're working now on furniture selections and color palettes, and so the rubber's really hitting the road. We're starting to have meetings at each school to discuss some of the questions that teachers have. It's obviously a lot of moving parts and a lot of moving pieces, so it's becoming very real very fast. But when you drive by every day, it's exciting, very exciting.
It really is.
I
It's
hope
a-
the town is as happy as I know I am, and I'm sure
Yeah.
you are.
It's a lot of, I mean, like you said, it's a large, huge scope project. I mean, not just the building piece, the political piece historically, the administrative piece, all of it's just a large undertaking. And actually, after years and years of preparation and work, to actually see it begin to take shape right back there is just really exciting, and do so quickly. And it's really an impressive-looking building as it comes along. So really cool to see. Any questions or comments about the Phelps Elementary School or its progress?
No.
Okay. Moving on under old business, item B We have a COVID update. Dr. Cron?
I'll turn that over to Mrs. Hackett.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Ms. Hackett.
So just a quick update on where we are. This past weekend, we had an additional vaccination clinic. So this is sort of a summary. And I believe these numbers are low, but it's showing that we vaccinated over 150 staff in the spring out of the gate, and through our partnership with South Shore Hospital, South Shore Health, who is also our testing partner. And we've tested over 1,400 people to date. PCRs that come back within 12 to 18 hours from delivery to the lab. So huge thank you to South Shore Hospital and South Shore Health. And then this fall, through our partnership with the state, South Shore Hospital went out of the vaccination business, and it was, we contracted with Transformative Health Solutions, and to date, since October, we have vaccinated 339 of our students, and we have boosted 237 of our adults in 7 weeks. So, which brings us to our vaccination rate. And for the first time, and since in a while, you can see some pretty significant increases. Whoops, I'm presenting and poking at the same time. But you can see that we have a 10% increase in our 10% increase in our 12 to 15, 6% increase in our 16 to 19-year-olds, and a 7% increase in our 20 to 29-year-olds. So there are folks still out there getting their first shots, other than at the adolescent group. Our vaccination rate at 75%. We passed Rockland, we passed Abington. We just didn't beat them in the Super Bowl. We've now out-vaccinated them.
about that
But
competition.
unfortunately, we are losing to Weymouth. So we need to fix that. But we are at 75% of at least one shot and 67% fully vaccinated. They're not yet, but we anticipate probably within the next few weeks them starting to track the boosters for our participation. So our current case activity, this is interesting. It was actually a year ago today that we went remote.
Wow.
As a district. We went remote on December 14th last year. So, and we had 116 cases town-wide, and we had 24 cases in the district. Today, we have 229 cases in town, and we have 42 cases in our district. So we have double the amount of cases we had last year at this same time. Our case activity by building is, here are our 42 cases broken down by the individual buildings. We have 56 students in our test and stay program. We have tested over 700, and we've done over 756 test and stay cases. That's 756 school days that have not been lost to these students who have been in school for those days. And we only have 30 students who are out for close contacts. As close contacts, because you can only participate in the test and stay program if you were exposed while you were in school. If you were exposed while you were outside of school, you're ineligible for the test and stay program. But again, the duration of those students being out is really limited to 5 days because it's a 7-day quarantine period. So mathematically, you can really only miss 5 days of school. 5 days of school are important to miss. I'm not downplaying the importance of those 5 days, but it's far better than the 14 days, which could translate into 10 lost school days last year at this same time. We have packets prepared at the elementary level, K through 4, for anyone who's out to engage in, continue to engage in activity, and at the middle and the high school levels, they're dealing with it on a case-by-case basis with the students through Google Classroom in direct contact with the students. So it looks like a lot of activity, but there are fewer lost school days. That's it on COVID.
Thank you, Mrs. Hackett, for the immense amount of work that you've done on this. This isn't just a school job. This is truly a community public health initiative, and that you've been a huge integral part of that. Not only our schools, but our community is very fortunate to have you doing the work that you're doing. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. It's a team effort with a lot of good people. The nurses doing 1,300 tests.
Yeah, thanks to everybody who's a part of this. The Test and Stay program has clearly been quite effective in keeping kids in school, which is our goal.
Right.
Hopefully that'll be the case going forward. Any comments or questions from the committee?
I just wanted to add that because of the test and stay program is why we are staying in school, even though our numbers are reflecting that we're higher. There's no option to go remote. So that's what's different between last year and this year. I just wanted to reiterate that in case it wasn't known out there. So.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Go ahead,
Dr.
Melissa.
Sloan?
I was just going to also echo my thank you for all the work you do and continue to do to keep the kids in school and to keep them safe and healthy. So thank you.
Mrs. Henderson?
And I just wanted to say thank you for everything that you guys have done. But I did have a question on, do we know how we compare with the other towns in our area? Obviously, in the state, COVID cases are on the rise, so just
Yes.
just assuming that we're not an outlier with the 42 cases and it's sort of happening in all the school districts. And have we heard anything from the commissioner about
There's a meeting
what
with the
they're
commissioner
thinking?
on the 15th,
Okay.
in 2 days' time, and by and large, virtually every community surrounding us is doubling in their caseload every week. It's doubled.
Yep.
It's 2 times what it was the week before.
Okay.
Across the South Shore.
Okay, thank you very much. Next up, we have some completed fundraisers. And looking at the results of these 2 fundraisers, it tells me 2 very important things. One is that Rockland is supportive of charitable endeavors, and secondly, that Rocklanders love cookie dough. The pre-K did a cookie dough fundraiser sale, which raised $3,297. Outstanding work. The Eston PAC sold gift card scripts that they were able to earn $698. Great work by our PACs. These are the things that keep us going, the hard work and the fundraising by moms and dads to help supplement our kids' experience in our school buildings. So thank you for all the work that our PACs do, which we know that that is a lot of work. Next up on our agenda, item D, we have a CARES Act update. Dr. Cron.
I'm also going to turn this over to Ms. Sackett.
All right, so CARES Act, money. This is the CARES Act through Plymouth County. This was, just to sort of set the table of where we were, this was the first tranche of federal relief money that came in response to the COVID crisis. And it came from the federal government to the state. However, Plymouth County interceded and said that there's language in the act that allows money to go directly to counties rather than to commonwealths or states. And the reason county was in there, we're all Yellowstone fans now, is because counties run many states, right? They don't have municipalities, they have counties. Well, Plymouth County sort of stepped in and said, well, why doesn't that apply to us? And there was a lot of talk, there was a lot of angst, and there was a lot of distrust of what Plymouth County was going to do. And I'm just here today, Dr. Cron really wanted us to speak about how successful the Plymouth County program has been. It has been a tremendous asset to the tune of $2.4 million out of a $31 million budget. Last year, a $29 million budget. $2.4 million of that was funded through the Plymouth County CARES Act. And the type of things that we spent in FY21 on that were Chromebooks, our PPE, our air purifiers, our remote materials. We paid for home access points for people to have cable at home and to be able to connect remotely. We paid all our legal bills through this. All of our apps and our remote software that students were able to utilize and to stay connected and to stay engaged. And that's something that we all don't like to remember, but we did do, was we furloughed $1.2 million worth of payroll in the very beginning of COVID. And that translated into $319,000 of unemployment costs, but still we saved $882,000 net in salary, and that $800,000 is still helping us through today. So this has really been a tremendous partnership with Elizabeth Solowski, the town accountant, and with Doug Lapp, the town administrator, in making this funding available to the school department. There are very, very few school departments who have had access to this money to the level that we have. Hanover is one, but it's really only because of Plymouth County's commitment really to the children of Plymouth County in getting this money to the school department. So we have more than exceeded. And another thing that was very key about this program that was very unique is that we were allowed to deficit spend, which meant from a cash flow perspective, that's truly priceless. That we could order it without having the money. We could order it without having the money. We could perform the tests. All of our tests have been paid for. $67,000 of COVID testing has been paid through this program, and we pay and they reimburse us, and they fill our deficit. So we have overextended our welcome with them to a certain degree, to the tune of about $158,000 we have spent in excess of our allocation collectively as a school district and as a town. But Biz has met with the commissioner, Tom O'Brien, and he is very hopeful that we're going to be able to absorb that $158,000, that they'll be able to reimburse us that $158,000, and that they will also be able to give us an additional $114,000, which is down at the bottom, which is our additional funds that are requested for tutors, subs, and testing for the remainder of the year. Everything has to be expended by December 31st, which fits very perfect, nicely with our payroll date for the end of the year. But for this year, the only folks on the FY22 total, the only folks on those salaries are our tutors, our subs, and our CNAs. Last year, if you see in the salaries, almost $1 million. That was our entire remote academy.
And bus monitors, right?
And
the
bus
CNAs
monitors,
that we had to hire,
CNAs,
extra
and
nurses
tutors.
things
So
that we
a
had to-
tremendous, a true example of local government working. Of it working at sometimes the more local you are, the more effective it is. And this was really a wonderful example of that. So we just really, the point of this was to just give a big shout out to Tom O'Brien, our commissioners, and to Doug Lapp and Biz. To just, when we do something together locally, it really works.
I agree. Thanks to the county for their assistance and work through this. We're fortunate to have a local commissioner right here from Rockland, Mr. Jared Valenzola, who's been helpful and always there for a good answer. Mr. O'Brien, thank God for this CARES Act money. I'm not sure what we would have done without it. Thank you for the update, Jane. Any questions or comments from the committee? Okay, thanks very much. Moving forward to new business, we have a request for approval for some new fundraisers. The Eston PAC is looking to have a dough night at Domino's. Rockland High School, the National Honor Society, is going to be having a bottle or can drive on December 14th of 2021. The student government is going to be having a We Fund You. Students share a link socially to raise money from December 15th to the 29th of 21. And Ms. Frialehi is going to be doing a Tula bulb sales proceeding December through February. So we'll be looking for 4 motions to approve 4 fundraisers.
4 motions.
We have 4 motions. Do we have 4 seconds?
4 seconds.
We have 4 seconds. All those in favor? That's a vote. Thank you very much. Next up, under new business, we have a homeschooling request. Dr. Cron, is there anything that you would like to comment on, and what is your recommendation?
I recommend that we approve it.
Excellent. Do we have a motion for approval?
Motion for approval.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We do. All those in favor? Thank you very much. Next up, under item C, under new business, snow days.
No.
Dr.
No, sorry about that.
Okay, we're cutting that one off tonight, I guess. All right. Superintendents Report is the next item.
Excellent.
Dr. Cron.
Thank you. I'd like to congratulate our football team, our cheerleaders, our soccer players, our volleyball players, and also I'd like to congratulate our cross country on an excellent season. But I'd like to thank the football team for the thrill of just being in the stands, watching the game, and seeing them play together, and also give a shout out to the town because the turnout was unbelievable, just absolutely unbelievable. I would also like to let everyone know that at our next meeting we will have representatives from these teams here at our meeting so we can thank them in person. So that's exciting. Next, I would like to let the community know that the emergency management team met this week That consists of Chief Duffy, Lieutenant Zioli, all of the principals from each of the schools. We also invite our neighbors, Peggy Bryan from the Senior Center and Jean Blaney from the Youth Commission. We invite them to participate in these exercises. And during these emergency management team meetings, we check in on our active shooter work that we unfortunately have to do. I will tell you that all buildings have had their active shooter training this year. And as sad as it is, we were really reflecting on the tragedy that took place last week, the shooting in the high school, and really just trying to check in with one another to make sure that we have our ducks in a row. God forbid anything so ridiculous ever happen here. But we have excellent relationships in place. We have a plan for everything, including chemical spills, active shooters, fires. We have a plan for everything. And we have leadership in place and we have networks in place. And I think these emergency management team meetings are incredibly important. One of the things that we do at each meeting is we tabletop a scenario. So sometimes Chief Duffy comes up with the scenarios, other times Lieutenant Zioli comes up with the scenarios. This time I basically threw out the scenario, what if we had an active shooter in the high school like they did last week? And we tabletop that and we talk through it and we try to live it as much as we can so that we're as prepared as possible. But it's a sad statement that we have to do that, but we do, and I want the community to know about it. I would also like to invite the community to attend a presentation that will take place tomorrow night at the high school at 5 o'clock, a CyberSense presentation. So if you're interested in learning about how to help keep your children safe online and how to talk to your children about online safety, I encourage you to attend tomorrow night's presentation. It's at 5 o'clock in the auditorium. I'd also like to step back for a second and thank the Rockland High School Band who participated in the Veterans Day Parade, which I think is great. I think sometimes folks forget that we have a band and they actually march in the parades and they play at the football games, other than doing their concerts and rehearsing and working every day. But I think it's great that they supported our veterans during the Veterans Day Parade. And I would also like to congratulate the drama program for their presentation of Puffs. We had some 8th graders included, which is always great, and it's nice to see the drama program up and running. And then to conclude, I'd just like to wish everyone a happy holiday, a safe and happy holiday, and encourage everyone to get vaccinated if you haven't already done so, and encourage you to get your booster if you haven't done that yet, please. And that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Next on tonight's agenda, as every meeting, is public service announcements. We'll start out with our student representative, Ms. Maria Paula.
So I only have a couple things. The middle school and the high school are doing Spirit Week. The high school Spirit Week starts Thursday, December 16th. I think we have some pretty cool days coming up, so certainly participate in that. There is a mandatory SGC meeting Wednesday the 15th. It's going to be Christmas party style, very fun. Lastly, the class of 2022 is selling rubber bracelets for $2 each. So if you would like to support the class of 2022, those are available at all 3 lunches.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Mrs. Hennessy.
I think Dr. Cron commented on a lot of stuff, and Maria mentioned the Spirit Week. I love to see that happens in the middle school and the high school. I think in the elementary schools we see that more often with Pajama Day and things like that, but I think the older students enjoy that very much. I'm not sure what my son's going to dress up in for Decade Day, but we'll see. Also wanted to remind everyone progress reports are out there. I believe they just came out in Aspen today for middle school and high school. So check on your students and stay connected with your teachers. And happy holidays to everybody. Be safe and, as Dr. Cron said, get vaccinated if you haven't already been. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Hennessy. Mrs. Maroney.
I wanted to say that I'm looking forward to the middle school's band concert this Thursday. I believe the chorus concert is Wednesday night, but the band concert for me, I have a drummer. in the house, and so she will be performing in her 8th grade winter band concert. So I'm looking forward to that, being able to sit back in the auditorium and listen to her. I wanted to also shout out to Mrs. Pratt, the 8th grade middle school teacher, who I ran into over the weekend. And she is graduating this weekend with her master's degree, along with trying to educate students during the day and having her own family. And now among the holidays and COVID, she rocked it out, and she's getting that this weekend. So I just wanted to shout out to her. Congratulations. And the same, I was just going to say happy and safe holidays for everyone. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mrs. Maroney. Dr. Small?
I just wanted to touch a little bit on what Dr. Cron talked about with the CyberSense presentation that's coming tomorrow. It's being put on by the Plymouth County DA's office. I personally have struggled on how to keep my kids safe digitally in a world that's constantly changing day by day. So I'm really looking forward to going and learning and hoping to see a lot of people turn out, because I'm sure I'm not the only one who struggles with that. I also want to thank our students. We've seen, I think at the last meeting, we talked about all the students who made honor roll. So academically, we've been giving a lot of kudos to our sports teams, creatively to the art department, the band department, the chorus. Our students give us so much to be proud of, and have really brought so much to this town. And I think I just wanted to acknowledge them, because they're working so hard, and COVID and everything has made it so hard for everybody, but they are such a bright spot. And so I just wanted to thank them for everything that they're doing, because it is such a bright spot for so many of us. And wishing everybody a happy and healthy holiday season. And if you need to know how to stay healthy, I recommend you get your vaccines.
Thank you very much, Dr. Small. For me, and it's been mentioned a few times already about this wonderful occasion of us being able to participate in the first real state championship for football, the Super Bowl at Foxborough Stadium. I mean, this was an event that you really couldn't have scripted any better for a movie. To have your football team be on the same field as your state champion cheerleader team, to have the opportunity to play for this state championship, by the way, against your crosstown rivals at the Patriots Gillette Stadium, really is a once-in-a-lifetime event for the participants of that game, but also for this community. Rockland packed that place. People, kids, senior citizens. I saw a lot of former Rockland football players in their Letterman jackets. It was just an awesome experience. We can't really thank enough the football team, their coaches, and the cheerleaders for the gift that they gave this entire community that we are able to share in your successes. There's been a lot of success in the fall sports programs, and as Dr. Cron said, we'll be able to visit with representatives from all those teams at our next meeting. But I just did want to comment real quick on that. That was really a special thing to be a part of for all of us from Rockland to be there. I know it was a special moment for myself and my kids, who all three boys are football players, and all commented to me that they hope that someday they can be, as cool as those guys were. So thanks again. Other than that, that's really all I've got for my public announcement for tonight. At this point in time, I want to let everybody know that Mrs. Emily Davidson has joined us on a speakerphone call as I am about to poll the committee to suspend the regular school committee meeting for the purpose of non-union contract negotiations with the superintendent. All those in favor? Mrs. Hennessy, thank you. Sorry, I'm stumbling on my words.
Aye.
Mrs. Maroney?
Aye.
Dr. Small?
Aye.
And aye. Thank you very much. We will be returning into executive session, into regular session. We've just pulled the committee to exit executive session where we discussed non-union contracts for the superintendent. Now we're returned into, I shall take a vote to return into regular session. All those in favor?
Aye.
Well, it's first, we should have a motion. We have a motion to return into into regular session?
Motion to return into regular session.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Now we need to, and Emily is here too, and she has voted yes. Now we need to make a motion to conclude this evening's regularly scheduled school committee meeting.
Motion to conclude?
We have a motion to conclude. Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? That is a vote. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great night and happy holidays.